Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 469.
469.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. This is a time to start thinking about fall. Even though we haven't hit summer yet, dates were announced for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That starts on August 11th through November 1st, just a few months away now. Check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Go to their website and fill out a no-obligation quote. You can go this summer, too, but I think there's a lot going on this fall.
I cannot believe Halloween already.
It's what I'm thinking about right now. And Paris.
So this week we're going to talk all about Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park that just celebrated its 25th anniversary. We were both there on opening day and pre-opening.
Yes.
But first we're going to go into Earth Week. This is Earth Week this past week starting last Sunday. And we were there Sunday, the first day. And they had special character meet and greets, including we have Tinker Bell and Fawn, which we haven't seen in, at least Fawn we haven't seen in a number of years.
Right. They used to have the Pixie Hollow Fairy Garden at Epcot.
Right.
I think that started like in 2011. So they were there for maybe a few years or so.
That was the one time we met all of them, I think, at one time.
A number of them anyway.
Yeah.
So, we don't see Fawn too often. I don't even know that Tinker Bell meets really too much right now.
Right,
She used to be at
right.
Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
So anyway, it was really nice to see them. There were special meet and greets all week. We did not go for all of them. We just went.
Well, we only really missed one with Flick and Ada. So that's the only one we missed. So I'm glad. I guess we could have tried to make it out there, but we were at a different event the day that we saw them.
You can't do it all.
And this is very similar to something that they started doing last year, where they had these rare characters meeting. And there's a little path not too far from Starbucks. And here you see King Louie walking up the path. But so they had Miss Moth was one of the very rare characters last year. And it was right in this location. So it's kind of nice that they brought it back all week. You had rotating characters.
And Baloo had been here also with King Louie, although we did not see Baloo. On the day that we went here, it wasn't busy. I mean, we waited maybe 10 minutes. However, on April 22nd, which was the Earth Day and the anniversary, there was like a 2 or 3 hour wait for Jiminy Cricket. And you didn't know if you were going to meet Jiminy Cricket because you could end up meeting Tinker Bell and Fawn, who, again, we waited maybe just for 10 minutes or so on this day. Yeah,
and I had heard on Sunday, the last day that they had characters out, they had Tinker Bell and Fawn. And it wasn't a very long wait, so just that one day for the big anniversary, and the park was very busy. Oh, by the way, it's also the 100 has arrived. Hopefully not too confused. There's a 25th banner right next to the 100 sign.
There's 100-year those sculpts. I'm not even sure what you call them. The little displays there. All over for photo ops and such.
And we're looking at some of the flotillas there. That was the Discovery Island
drummers.
Yes.
And then we have Russell and Doug here. I don't think are they usually on these?
Yeah, they're there all the time.
We don't go to Animal Kingdom as often.
This is our favorite area because there's shade. If it rains, you have protection, which helped us first day.
Because it poured and poured and poured. So here is Coda and Kenai. They are not here usually.
Right. That was a special
for Earth Week.
And they also appeared in the flotillas last year, just like this as well. And I know it was hard, to find them that first day we were there because it rained and we weren't sure if they were still going to come out. And we waited a couple hours, but we got to catch up with friends.
Yes,
so
we didn't wait a couple hours just for them. There were friends from Disneyland Paris who worked there who were in town. So we got to catch up, yes, underneath the bridge.
But sort of like Jiminy Cricket, the Brother Bear characters are sort of the unofficial ambassadors of Disney's Animal Kingdom, it seems. And
is that true?
I'm just saying.
Because I never see them.
It seems like every Earth Day they show up.
Maybe for Earth Day. And there is Jane and Terk, who you met, and I did not meet on this day.
Right. It was just me. I had a doctor's appointment, so why not stop at Disney's Animal Kingdom on the way and meet some rare characters?
That's what I say.
And it was great. It was so nice. We hadn't seen them in quite some time, especially Jane. Although we saw both of these characters perform this year at Disneyland Paris. In the annual pass holder night, which was very nice, and Tarzan as well.
Right. In the past, we've seen Jane, Terk, and Tarzan for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yes,
and
correct.
That's usually where we have seen them, I think, here, at least in, I don't want to say recent years, it was a while ago, but in essentially fairly recent years.
And I've been in a nostalgic mood lately, so I've been going through old pictures and old video. And in the early days of Disney's Animal Kingdom, you would see these characters out a lot. Remember the Tarzan Rocks show?
I used to go see that all the time. I love Tarzan Rocks.
And Jane appeared with Tarzan and Terk.
As like an acrobat.
Yeah. It was a wonderful show.
It was a great show.
I would recommend checking it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it. But a fantastic history.
That was my favorite of those shows back then, more than the Festival of the Lion King and everything. I just like to go to Tarzan Rocks.
And that plays where the Nemo show is now. But in those days, it was not enclosed and it was hot. It was not air conditioned like it is now. So here you see the 25th Disney's Animal Kingdom. It's just for the April 22nd. That was just out for the day. You don't want to confuse with that big 100 sign right next to it.
Well, the 100 is for, of course, the 100 years of. I'm trying to think. There's so many different
Disney
100 years of wonder.
It's the company.
Yes, but I was going to say 100 years of magic, but that was a different, I think, celebration. 100 years of wonder.
And we're walking into the park early on April 22nd, actually the 25th anniversary day.
At about 7 o'clock a.m., perfect lighting on the Tree of Life.
And we were at a media event that day, so the first stop was in Donald's Dino Bash in the restaurant Osaurus.
And we were just getting a little breakfast at this time.
They had a nice display, which I'm glad we got to do. And there's my opening day shirt. It is an actual shirt that I got 25 years ago. And there is Denise with her 25th anniversary, I don't know what you'd call it, sign in front of the sign.
Yes, you had it too. And then there was also a brochure. You also had a soft opening shirt that you did not wear.
And we're going to show that at the end. We're going to look at some of our artifacts that we have around the house. We were given this very nice Pumbaa popcorn bucket. Look at that.
It lost an ear later.
Somebody dropped it.
Nobody dropped it.
I thought it broke, what happened? How did it fall?
The snap on the back. When you're carrying it around all day, I didn't even realize that was a thing.
But Disney, thank you to Disney for nicely replacing it. Yes. So we have a brand new
It's nice
Pumbaa
though.
bucket.
I never would have thought that I would want one. I would like to see a Hey and Pua popcorn bucket though.
That would be a small one for Hey.
I would like
Not a lot of popcorn in the Hey.
Maybe not.
So now we are looking at the opening ceremony very early in the morning on Earth Day on the anniversary.
And Sarah Riles, Vice President of Disney's Animal Kingdom, joined Walt Disney World ambassadors Rayvon and Allie. And so it was really a nice. It was like you had, kind of the executives and such talking for not very long. And then you had all these performers and you had like the Tam Tam drummers. You can see you have from the Finding Nemo show characters.
It was wonderful. I'm so glad that we had a nice location that we can actually really see, because looking back at the crowd, it was packed. It was really packed in that area. So it was great. I always loved the characters. This reminds me, in a way, it reminded me of something you'd see at Disneyland Paris, where they brought out all sorts of characters for kind of like they just come running out of nowhere. And then you have the performers. And of course, you have stilt performers that it wouldn't be the same without stilt walkers at Animal Kingdom.
And you have like Kevin, but you also have you'll have Doug, Russell, you have Divine, who's been here for at the park forever. Although whenever we go there, we never hardly ever see her, and there she is.
I have seen Divine. I have
not
seen
in
her
a while.
a number of times.
I have not seen her in a while. And like the other day when I was like, when you went there by yourself, I'm like, look for Divine.
And that's the one time I couldn't find her. And I actually did look for her. But yeah, she is great. And we had her right in front of us for a while. And you saw there is Moana. And
this was the first time we've seen Moana in Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Right.
Although we do meet her, and we're going to talk about that. She is now a meet and greet character at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and there is Doug and Russell.
And Kevin.
Yes.
In the background, I see Mickey and Minnie, and Tick and Tack,
yes,
Chip and Dale. And there is Rafiki, there's Timon. It's an all-star cast of the characters.
And you have also like Daisy, and I don't know.
Oh, there's
Donald.
Miko. There's Miko way back there too.
So representatives from around the park. Disney's Dino Land. You have again, like the show performers and
And
such.
I liked it. I don't know if you saw it, and you can always watch the video. We'll link to it. But instead of fireworks at the end, they let out all the birds flying. So the birds were kind of like what you would normally have as fireworks or some kind of finale in the
Right,
air.
or
So that was
confetti or something.
I thought that was
confetti.
really, really great. I mean, very Animal Kingdom to see the birds. And they made a really nice sound. You heard all the birds out of nowhere coming. So excellent job with the opening ceremony. I really enjoyed that very much.
I think they did also a really great job. It would have been nice to have some, like a talk or two from maybe Imagineers or so about the park.
We've had that in the past. We had Joe Rohde on I believe it was the 50th anniversary, and we'll link to that. He gave an hour-long talk, and Jane Goodall was there, I believe, that day as well. So that was we've seen many anniversaries over the years at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
We have, yes.
Together and before that. Now we're going to talk about Moana, who made her very first appearance at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
And there was no time given between such and such and such and such. So I don't even know what her hours are. We did get to meet her right beforehand. And I think on this day she started at 10 a.m. And we're being told, that she's here. She's, journeying here.
She, in her
traveled
travels,
far.
she often goes by this river. So why not stop and meet some of the guests at Disney's Animal Kingdom? That was very nice of Moana to do.
And while this isn't the first time, this is the first time we've seen her at Disney's Animal Kingdom Park. It isn't the first time she's met at Walt Disney World, because we did meet her at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
I was going to say, a couple times. We've met her also at Disney's Polynesian on special occasions.
Well, on special occasions, but she actually had a dedicated meet and greet for a while, just like Star-Lord and Baby Groot did.
Room by the Walt Disney
in the Walt Disney, right. So, she's here, though. We don't know, essentially it's a permanent meet and greet until it isn't, right? Like, everything is permanent.
Until it's not.
Right.
You're right.
So I just consider everything temporary, but hopefully she'll be here, maybe she'll be here for years. But, of course, she also has Moana Journey of water coming to Epcot as well.
And we were told to pay attention to the backdrop, because there's some really nice little characters and things. So they did a really nice job of getting that set up. Speaking of characters, while we were waiting to do some interviews, some more flotillas had come by in there. We have Goofy in his Dino Land outfit there, which is
I was
very
surprised
nice.
He had the Dino Land outfit. I guess, though, he used to meet...
Yeah, we've met him in that.
Right, yes, but the ride is no longer there that he had met at. So
Yeah,
his location is no longer there.
That's
so
true.
I shouldn't be surprised. And there is Launchpad and Scrooge McDuck. And, they are... These are the normal flotillas. And then, of course, then you have, like, the Brother Bear characters.
Right, which we've already seen. I think there's only one more flotilla that we have to look forward to.
And his money bags are over on the
I love
side
that.
there,
I
too.
do love that. And this is another, there are some really nice little areas where you can go out and get a nice close view. And we have Miko and Pocahontas, which we saw in the opening ceremony as well.
I like that they still have, like, the distanced greetings, but also the meet and greets. Edna Mode is coming back to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Okay, she's already at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but she's coming back as the Edna Mode
It'll be much
experience.
nicer, because now she just stands in the grass,
Right.
kind of far away, but and as
Pixar,
well as the other Incredibles characters.
In Pixar Place, Edna Mode, May 14th, Edna Mode experience, and then the other some of the other Pixar characters there as well.
And here comes Jiminy Cricket. We just saw him as he is leaving his meet and greet. And he had quite the line. I was quoted between 2.5 and 3 hours if I wanted to jump in the line.
And you would not have known if you have met him. Although, when you get to the front, you could probably say, I'm waiting for Jiminy Cricket.
Right.
I've been here since like noon.
Right. Because he was alternating with Tinker Bell and Fawn, who we had already met earlier in the week.
So instead, we waited for a few minutes and we just took some photos and video as he walked by.
That's the best we're going to do.
That was a good one.
That's the best we are going to...
We had a lot to go on.
We had to go and see the Lion King show
We
here.
had to.
Well, as part of our event, yes.
Yes, as part of our event, we had seating for Disney's Festival of the Lion King, which is a 40-minute show. It did open with the park, but not in this location.
Yeah,
right.
Mickey or Minnie Mickey?
Can't
Minnie.
Mickey.
Mickey Minnie.
Sometimes Minnie Mickey.
Is it Minnie Mickey?
Yes, I looked it up because I forget too.
We both get confused on that name.
Right.
It doesn't matter anymore.
I always have.
It's now Pandora.
Yes. The Festival of the Lion King, of course, runs many times per day. The Tumble Monkeys came back a year ago or so, which was really nice because I think that the Tumble Monkeys are like the best.
And I don't think we have been in here since then. So it was nice for us. We hadn't seen the Tumble Monkeys in a number of years. And when we got out of the show, we were talking about the differences between this show and the much more adult show
At Disneyland Paris.
At Disneyland Paris, more like a Broadway production. And they're both great. They're just completely different.
Right. The Disneyland Paris one's kind of sexy and really very Broadway and just really an incredible show. But this is,
It's more of a theme park family show, as it should be at Walt Disney World.
And we were in the hyena section. Right? Well, no, hyena. No, the warthog section.
Oh, yes.
We were
that's
in the
right.
warthog
that's
section.
Right.
There's giraffes, elephants, warthogs, and lion sections.
Speaking of warthogs, I love that I little captured this. Right now they're kind of afraid because the fire dance. I always love the fire dance. It reminds me of going to the Mai Kai. The way he throws those things around.
It reminds me of Disney's Polynesian
that
Village
too.
Resort, which
yes.
I was going to say on the site, on Mousesteps, I just posted photos of the DVC tower going up. But I used to enjoy seeing the fire dancer at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort.
And, there's one point where he lays down and he puts this fire stuff on his feet. I don't know how he does that without burning his feet. It looks like it would not be a smart thing to do, but it's quite here. This is what I'm talking about.
I wonder if it's one of the same dancers, and maybe it is.
Look at this. Unbelievable. He must have something on his feet that prevents it, like some kind of...
I hope so.
But you better make sure. Look at, even when he put it down, it's still on fire. Very entertaining. But I wouldn't be trying that.
No.
Don't do this at home.
I mean, it's a 40-minute show. There's a lot of elements to it, and really an enjoyable overall experience.
And we should mention air conditioned as well.
Yes.
And they're you see the floats here? Those floats were actually part of a parade, I'm told, at one point.
Right.
So they repurposed those floats.
A Lion King parade, yes. And this is my second favorite of the acts, actually. The first one was the Tumble Monkeys, but also the birds who perform. The performers dressed as birds.
And this is the finale here. And while we're inside, I want to mention, do you remember Harambe Nights they used to have?
Yes, I loved it.
And they had a special thing, kind of like almost like a candlelight with a chorus and everything, took place in here.
Like the Candlelight Processional.
Correct, Candlelight Processional.
So it was only for like one summer. And it was an additional charge to go do it, but I loved it.
At the time, it was like, I can't believe we're going to spend $100 to go to this event, and it included drinks and food, and
yes.
It was like, wow, $100. Should we do it? And then it was great, but now $100 isn't a lot for a upcharge event at all. I mean, gosh, times have changed.
Well, I think that was 2014 because I had my broken ankle.
That's right. That is right. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah.
And what was very special about this, because we're going to be wrapping this up, is after the show, they had arranged for a special meet and greet with a lot of the cast. And it's something we did, I think, 10 years ago on the 15th anniversary. I think it was
15 years ago.
Was it 15? Maybe
yes.
It was 15 years ago.
Something like that,
So
yes.
it was it was nostalgic. It was kind of nice to be able to do something like that again. So we're gonna show that in just a second as we're winding down.
It was a long time ago, when we did it with a group. So it was really nice to be able to do it.
And here we are with many of the characters or the cast of the show.
The wonderful cast of the show. So talented, and we really enjoyed getting to see it again. And really, we need to go see it on our own a little more often.
And I'm so happy. We're about to go to Yak and Yeti, and I have all sorts of stuff on me there. And we had a very nice... Now, we've talked about the Yak and Yeti experience
so we're not going to talk
many
about
times.
it too much, right?
Right. I'm just showing this one picture. Again, go to another... We'll link to another show. We'll do a full review of the Yak and Yeti, and we get the same food every time. So
pretty much. But get the Landry's Select card. It's really worth it if you go, on a regular basis.
And I'm just showing very briefly, I was able to go on the Kilimanjaro safaris. It was getting hot. It was a long day. We were there at 7, so I think you just sat down and you're going to have a little rest. And
yes.
after this, we went home. But it was a great day. It was a really awesome, one of the best anniversaries that I can remember. You talked about that shirt, the pre-opening shirt that I had bought. They sold that in the area where the Walt Disney Story is. They made that into a preview center for Disney's Animal Kingdom, and there we go, opening in 1998. I think I bought this in 96.
And remember that dragon? Everybody was like expecting Beastly Kingdom.
Here's a collection of some of my guidebooks. There's a pre-opening. And this was from opening day. They sold the
refillable
refillable mugs. They said at the time it was refillable forever,
Where?
which is true. Which is a true thing because you can refill it forever,
no.
but not for free, of course. They only had, I guess, this is one of 5,000. And here is the pre-opening guidebook. Also in our collection. So very nice to have some nice trinkets. I bought this on opening day. It was a Disney's Animal Kingdom. We now have it framed in our living room, and it was signed by the artist in there. 4/22/08. There was opening day. Do you remember any of this?
4/22/08, 98.
98. And
98.
this is a
No,
clip.
08.
I took a picture of my shirt before I put it on while it was still in pristine order. So there you go, opening day. Now
I
we're
was
going to
like,
go.
what opened in 08?
98, obviously. Now we're going to go back to Expedition Everest. We're here in 2006. This was January, one of the first, I think it may have been the very first day of soft opening, and somehow I was able to be there for that, and I did a recording of it, and I was able to capture the Yeti in his full working mode. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Again, the technology wasn't quite what it was now.
As far as the video.
But I think we did a good job. We're looking at the mist and bird effects that you don't see. Especially the mist hasn't been done for a number of years. It's probably not good for the metal on the tracks. And the bird effect happens sporadically, but there is the bird. It makes like a squawking sound, and he goes up and down.
But we have seen him in
somewhat recent years. Everest, again, I love. Are you a fan of this?
I am. I don't like to be in the front row because I don't want to be right there where it looks like I'm going to fall off the mountain.
Right. Sometimes there are certain scenes that you can see better from the back. Especially when you see the Yeti coming up.
I prefer to be toward the middle or the back.
So we're going backwards through the mountain. Some people aren't fans of the backwards thing. I kind of like it. I think it's a unique effect, and you could see the fog is still going in full force.
The backwards is very intense.
Yes.
So I can't really. It's not something I can ride maybe more than once or twice in a row, and that will be it for me for the day.
I do love this projection of the Yeti, and now we're going to go down through the mist, something that you're not able to see anymore, and we're coming around, and we're about to see the Yeti. And I tell you, the first time I ever saw that, the noise, the him kind of swooping with his arm, it was an amazing effect. There he is. There is a working Yeti.
And I got to see their working Yeti back then too. And to me, Expedition Everest is like the perfect coaster. Like it's just enough thrill for me, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind. I can't really do the big coasters like I used to. Mm-hmm. This is a pretty good sized coaster though, and again, just enough for me, and really very nicely themed as well. So
we're going to look at a few more angles here. We have a different angle of the Yeti, a little shaky there. We're going to look at them together, and then the best part is slow motion, where you can really see him, the lunging of the arm and everything. It was such a nice effect. I know there's some kind of structural issue where they can't turn him on, and it seems Joe Rohde says it's not really possible to fix it without taking half of the mountain down. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's a chance that we'll be seeing the Yeti again.
The slow motion looks really good, and I think it's cool that Jeff has so much video, like tons and tons of vintage video, and I know that like some people don't consider 15 years ago vintage, but it kind of is.
17 years.
Or 17 years. Technology and everything has changed so much, and the Yeti hasn't been working in almost 2 decades.
Yeah, it was nice when I posted this. It was nice to hear from people online that had never seen it before, and they enjoyed watching this. And while I've been going through my old footage, I actually ran into one more. So I actually have 3 videos of the Yeti. So
And you can
a lot of
find-
other Animal Kingdom.
And you can find it on our channel, the entire video.
And that is another show. We want to thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Thank you to MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Their silver anniversary at sea coming this summer.
Halloween!
Wait, I'm not done. Disney Cruise Line.
Oh, yes,
It
yes.
starts in a week or two. The silver anniversary at sea for 25 years. Both of us also sailed on the Disney Cruise Line in that first year. But check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. They are cruise specialists. They're Disney specialists. And also Halloween, as you say. Now, Disneyland has not announced Oogie Boogie Bash dates, which I'm looking forward
But
to
it is
actually
coming.
hearing.
They have announced that it is coming back.
But it's hard to make plans until you kind of know those dates.
Correct.
But of course, Walt Disney World has announced theirs, and also Disneyland Paris, which has a very good Halloween, although no Halloween parties this year. And no New Year's Eve party, no hard ticket events.
Well, also,
in that
you may want to go for the grand finale of the 30th anniversary. Maybe we'll be there for that. That ends at the end of September.
That's the plan, right?
So yes, it is the plan. So that would be very nice to
Yes.
to say goodbye to the 30th anniversary. A typical Disney 18-month celebration. We're already in our 31st year at Disneyland Paris.
I would be very disappointed if we didn't make it for that.
Well,
and
I'm
for the
sure
start
we
of
will make
Halloween.
it.
Yes.
Sure, we will be there. I
Yes.
look forward to it greatly. Among many
You didn't
other
sound
things.
as sure at the beginning.
Well, you got to keep you got to keep you on your toes. So anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.